Hey guys, Alex here again. I had a couple requests to do a follow-up video on the internal workings of the Proton pack here. So, without any further ado, I'll take you through it. So, over here on the left side, we've got the two speakers that kind of work as both a left channel and a right channel here. So right channel here, left channel there, the screws that kind of bolt in the wires, and then it runs down here. Now I put this in here. This just happened to come with the speaker system that I got. Ended up taking it out of an old surround sound system that I got from a buddy. These speakers actually fit perfectly into that cavity and then this cavity as well. So you'll see this one will go into this cavity, and that one will fit actually perfectly into there. That was just a bit of luck that ended up working out as well as it did. It did come with these on the outside of the speaker, so I just said to myself, sure, I'll keep them because it just makes getting this in and out a lot easier if anything needs to be maintenance, so I didn't have to solder that together. And the connection was actually pretty good since it was a speaker system itself, so that wasn't too bad. Here is the amplifier. I got one of the Adafruit amplifiers. This is actually one of the more premium models. You'll see here that it also has the auxiliary in. If we follow that down, it actually comes out right here and then goes through to the other side at the Bluetooth receiver that you saw in the last video. So all of the connections there. This is the, let's see, what is that? That's the power. So that is actually hooked directly up to the 12-volt battery itself. Now, it looks pretty convoluted here, but let me just kind of explain what's going through. That there are two different power sources, as you saw in the other video. Power source number one is this 12-volt lithium-ion battery. You can get these things on Amazon for, I think it's like $18, $19. They're actually pretty cheap. Unfortunately, I was attempting to charge it at the same time I had the stupid thing on. Not a great idea. Blew the other battery. It's inside the pack. I'm actually looking to put it on the outside of the pack. I'm not exactly sure whether or not I want this thing on the inside, because if it starts to spark or burn or heat up or anything like that, there'll be zero indication until literally the pack's on fire. So probably not a good idea that I have it here. So although I've replaced the battery, I am looking to take this and, I just have it just velcroed on. So that's not going to be too difficult to rework, but that's an issue for another day, I guess. That is actually connected here with what's known as a Dean's plug. You can buy these in a 10, I think it's like a 10, maybe a 15 pack on Amazon. They're pretty nice to have because if you need to swap these things out, I mean, you can just pull it right apart just like that. So, makes that nice and easy. The second power source is on the other side. You saw it. It was the battery pack. So if I'm at a convention or anything like that, I can swap back and forth as need be. That if my lithium-ion battery runs out, then I can just swap right over to the 8-pack of AA batteries, and that'll kind of last me through the rest of the con. And if I need to go purchase some more or anything like that, it doesn't make it too difficult to go grab some of those. So I did like that. In order to do it, it's hard to see. This is just a jumbled mess of stuff. But I ended up, you'll see that there is one power that comes in there. That's 12 volts. Those are, I think that's 24 gauge wire. And then the other one right here, that's also 12 volts, and it goes in. Now there is a switch that when it turns up, it connects the battery. When it's turned down, it connects the lithium-ion battery. So I'm making sure to pull from only one power source. Now once that power source comes through, and you've got the voltage running from the inside of the pack here, it'll actually split into two different directions. One, because this needs a pure 12 volt feed, this will come right up through here and feed into the board. The second actually comes out and then goes to our main kind of brain of the operation here. This is the Arduino Mega, as well as the Adafruit soundboard, and then I think they call this a buck converter. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it basically takes the 12 volt power supply here and then converts it down into 5 volts. There's a small little dial on here. My camera's not really focusing very well, but this small little dial right here allows you to shift up and down the amount of voltage that's coming through. So that gives a nice consistent 5 volts. So on these rails, there's 5 volt power that's going to all of these. So if you have the ability to get one of these boards, this is very nice. If you can solder everything together, it works so much better. I ended up trying to put in a volume switch here to basically turn it down to 0 volume in case I just wanted the pack, just for kind of show. But that ended up being a redundancy because on my soundboard here, I ended up having a wire that comes out to a, I think this is called a potentiometer, and the potentiometer basically manages the volume of the sound. So that's not too bad. But if you have the ability to solder on the components, this is all soldered on this board. Everything here is a real tight connection. It makes the sound from the soundboard that goes out to the amplifier just very crisp, very clean. I would highly recommend doing that. You'll notice here that I had these smaller wires. They were very thin, so I ended up soldering them, connecting them up through to some 24 gauge wire to plug in a little bit better into the board. I also was able to find there are actually shields that go onto the Arduino. You can buy 3 of them for I think 12, 13 bucks. And they just allow you to solder right onto it, and then it just fits right as a shield on top of the Arduino. So all of your connections will be perfect. Maintenance on it would probably be so much easier, because if you fry your Arduino, you don't have to go through and you'll see here, oh, plug it into 3, plug it into SDA, plug it into 12, 10, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to deal with all of that nonsense. You can just swap them in and out. Here's the back where my lights are. I just kind of put a piece of cardboard, poster board back there. Down here, you'll see the lights themselves for, that's the vent on it. So here, let me see if I can turn some of this on. And then we'll, there we go. So from the inside of the pack, trying to get as good of a shot. This was actually very difficult to do, to solder those on to these boards and to solder the 2 boards together. That's actually a very difficult connection. By that, I mean I suck at soldering, so I did my best. Running all the wires down here that then go to the board. This one right here, this is actually going up to the LCD board, liquid crystal display board on the back. So it does take 4 wires. There's a power, a ground, and then 2, let's see, it's SDA, and there's another one. I don't know exactly what it's called. Let me see here. SLC. It's the 20 and 21 on the board. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about it, do let me know in the comments down below. I'll try to answer anything that I can. But putting this project together was, I mean, it was a dream of mine to get done. So it's done now. I may add a little power indicator light for battery, but other than that, it's looking pretty good. So if you guys have any questions, just throw a comment down below, and I'll try to walk you guys through as much as possible. I know that when I was first doing this, it was difficult to kind of get a really good sense of where things were going. So, all right, just let me know.